In the mile-high city of Denver, Colorado, the Denver Nuggets reached the mountaintop of the NBA just a couple of seasons ago, and now Nikola Jokic and his team is ready to start another assault at an NBA championship. They begin their playoff run today against the Minnesota Timberwolves, the team that knocked them out of the playoffs in a wild 7-game series 2 seasons back. Two teams with mile-high large dreams set to begin their playoff run. As it's day one of the NBA playoffs, it's the Timberwolves and the Nuggets coming up from Denver. And hello one and all, I'm Matthew Owens, and welcome to Denver. Thanks for having us in for Game 1 between Denver and Minnesota. We are ready to go on what should be a fascinating day and a fascinating series between these two teams. And my goodness, is it going to be an exciting one today at Ball Arena. You know, every rivalry and every great series does need its trilogy, and Denver and Minnesota set to embark on their third playoff series against each other in the last few years. These two teams played in the first round in 2023, Denver winning that one in 5 games. Then the very next season, Minnesota came from 21 points down in Game 7 to upset the Nuggets. Now these two that are very familiar with each other set to battle once again. In fact, these two teams have met 28 times since the start of the 2022 season. There's been no matchup between two teams that's played each other more than that in that span. Anytime you talk about the Denver Nuggets, you have to talk about Nikola Jokic. He had yet another historic season this year, becoming the first player in NBA history to lead the league in rebounds and assists. 13 rebounds, nearly 11 assists a game, and that all comes after he scored 28 points per game, which was top 10 in the NBA. He is obviously in an aura on his own, but he's got good running mates like Jamal Murray, like Aaron Gordon, and still there's a lot of pieces on this Denver team that did win the championship from just a couple of seasons back, and they hope to make another run towards the trophy here this year. They do it with a first-year head coach in David Adelman, taking over for Michael Malone, who of course now makes his home in Chapel Hill, North Carolina with the Tar Heels. We'll see if Adelman, as a first-year head coach, can guide the Nuggets on a deep run. They're the favored team today and in this series, but it is a very tight series, at least most people believe it will be, because the Minnesota Timberwolves, they're super good, and they have one Superman that leads their team. That, of course, is Anthony Edwards, who, at 28.8 points per game on the season, that ranked 3rd in the NBA. He's the straw that stirs the drink. We know that. He's had huge games in the past against the Nuggets. We know that. Can he lead this Minnesota team towards the promised land and towards an NBA Finals appearance, which, of course, this franchise has never been to? Jokic, of course, a special player for Denver, but he's not a one-man machine, and no one's saying that Anthony Edwards has to do it all on his own in Minnesota, but he doesn't have a full, great depth team like Jokic has in Denver. We'll see how much Edwards can do for this Minnesota team and how far he can take them in these playoffs. Now, his status for Game 1 was questionable to start because of just maintaining and trying to milk an injury to his knee, but he is in the starting lineup for the Timberwolves, along with Dante DiVincenzo, Julius Randle, Rudy Gobert, the terrific defender, many times a Defensive Player of the Year in the NBA, and Jaden McDaniels also in the lineup for Chris Finch's Minnesota Timberwolves. Finch in his 6th season as an NBA head coach. They've all been with Minnesota. He's 21-21 in his career as a coach in the playoffs. For Denver, the starting lineup, of course, Jokic in there with the aforementioned Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon, and they are joined by Christian Braun, who had 12 points per game on the season. He starts his 45th career playoff game today, and Cameron Johnson rounds out the lineup for the Nuggets. He, of course, is a playoff veteran. He played 34 playoff games as a Phoenix Sun. Excited and thrilled for the NBA playoffs to get underway, and it will start for us here on the channel in Denver. Earlier today, it was the Raptors and Cavaliers that got the NBA playoffs officially underway in Cleveland. The Cavs with a dominant third quarter on their way to a 13-point win against Toronto. Jarek Rubel on the call right now for Ottawa and Carolina to get the Stanley Cup playoffs on. He's in the comments. It is playoff palooza. Huge day here on the channel, and what a wonderful time of year this is when you got the Stanley Cup and the NBA playoffs going on side by side. And we'll have more Stanley Cup playoff action for you tonight on the channel with the Flyers and the Penguins in Pittsburgh. And the Senators and Hurricanes are underway in Raleigh in their first intermission. But now we're ready to go for Game 1 between the Nuggets and the Timberwolves. Nikola Jokic and Rudy Gobert is going to be a heck of a one-on-one duel all series long. They are set to jump center, and we are underway in the Mile High City. It's Minnesota that controls the opening tip. And the Timberwolves will get first crack at it on offense with Anthony Edwards, third leading scorer in the NBA. Feeding up top, Jaden McDaniels works to the foul line, spins it to the perimeter. Gobert out to Julius Randle, feeds it off the right wing, taking it there. McDaniels up for three, misses too strong, and Christian Braun pulls away the rebound for Denver. National champion was Braun at Kansas in 2022. He gets it to Jokic. He's able to stash it inside on the right elbow. Gordon drives in, missed the initial shot, got his rebound back, and the putback misses, but he draws a foul on Dante DiVincenzo. And Aaron Gordon will head to the free throw line. What a season he had, 16 points per game. Remember in the season opener back in October, he dropped 50 in the Nuggets opening game of the year against Golden State. That's how he started the season. He can start the playoffs with the first points of Game 1, and he does as he knocks down the first free throw. He's a 77% foul shooter. He was on this Denver team that won the championship in 2023. There is championship DNA on this squad from that team 3 years ago. Gordon is a part of it, hits the second free throw, and it's Denver with the first points. Minnesota wearing that deep gray uniform with numbers outlined in lime green. DiVincenzo brings it up, gets it back from Gobert, and launches a right wing three, and he swishes it down, and the first field goal belongs to Minnesota. And Dante DiVincenzo spoke about Braun winning a national championship at Kansas. DiVincenzo won a college championship at Villanova. Denver on offense for the first time. Out of the left corner, Jokic had it knocked out of his hands by Edwards, but a whistle comes in and a foul called on the Edwards reach-in. DiVincenzo cashing in on the triple, 38% three-point shooter. Nothing but net on that three-point shot to start Minnesota's offensive series. Denver on the inbound, Murray curls down the middle, kicks out to the right corner, found an open shooter. Johnson misses off the side of the rim. Rebound popcorns out of bounds. And the officials getting together confirm that it's off Minnesota last. So it'll stay on this end of the floor with the Nuggets, who wear home white uniforms, blue numbers, and gold trim. Do the Nuggets in Game 1 of this series. And this is a Denver team who on their home floor, 28-13 on the season, and they get home court advantage in this series, and we know how important in the postseason home court is, especially when you play here in Denver at altitude. As off the inbounds pass, we've got a whistle. Johnson trying to get the ball inbounded for Gordon, and he was grabbed from behind by Randall. So foul on Randall without a second even coming off the clock. Now Gordon inbounds near side front court to Murray, who gets it to Johnson, who drives right down the middle and gets to the hoop and lays it in. Denver's first field goal, a driving layup for Cameron Johnson, who played collegiately at Pittsburgh in North Carolina. Edwards finds DiVincenzo, who lines up and rips the cords on his second three of the game. This one from the opposite side of the floor, near left wing. And DiVincenzo with a couple of threes. Johnson will line one up at the other end and misfire too strong. Rebound Minnesota. Randall into the front court. Gets to the right elbow. Turns it back to a trailing Edwards. Steps back. Straightaway three over Johnson around the rim and out. Rebound down to Jamal Murray for the Nuggets. And Murray gets it in immediately inside to Brown, who missed a runner inside of 10 feet. The rebound swatted out to DiVincenzo. Minnesota ball again. DiVincenzo feeds far side in the corner. McDaniels leans in, draws contact as he went airborne against Gordon and draws the foul, and McDaniels will shoot at the line. So free throws coming for Jaden McDaniels, who got Gordon to bite on the head fake and was able to elevate into contact. McDaniels, out of the University of Washington, knocks down his first free throw in his 38th career playoff game. Today is McDaniels. All of those have come with this Minnesota team as he knocks down the second free throw. So he goes 2 out of 2. Good start here on the road for the Timberwolves. 8-4. Denver into the front court. Gordon, handoff. Up top for Johnson, feeds it left. Jokic hasn't had many touches, does here on the perimeter. Handoff off the left wing. Gordon behind a Jokic screen will take a three, misses off the back of the rim, then caroms off the front of the rim and into the hands of Gobert. Terrific rebounder at over 11 a game, leading this Minnesota team. Edwards up top, feeds it right. Quick pass by DiVincenzo into the corner. McDaniels baseline drive, gets to the cup and lays it in. And Minnesota out in front 10-4. Nuggets back into the front court to our right. Jokic a handoff for Murray. Murray takes a Jokic screen, lines up a right wing three that misses, and they get hit by McDaniels and a foul called. And it'll be 3 free throws for Murray. McDaniels contesting that call. Wasn't any contact with the middle of the body or anything, but Murray coming down off the jumper did step on the foot of McDaniels. And now the officials are going to go to the monitor, and we're going to get a very quick review here. So an early review as Murray seems to be okay. We know how those plays can go when a jump shooter lands on a defender's foot. That can be so bad many times, but Murray got up straight away and looks to be okay. And now the officials coming away from the monitor about to give us the verdict here.
Does not give Murray time and space to land. There's foot-to-foot contact with a high potential for injury. This foul has been upgraded to a flagrant foul penalty. 1, 3 free throws for Murray.
So Murray will get 3 free throws, and it is a flagrant one on McDaniels, who, you heard the explanation there, did not give Murray enough room to land, and they do deem that a dangerous play. Talking about it a moment ago, and we've seen what has happened before when jump shooters come down on the feet of a defender. And that's why the rule is in place, that they can upgrade it if they see fit. So Jamal Murray, who has been a terrific postseason performer in his career, goes to the free throw line for 3. He hits the first. He averages nearly 24 points per game in his career in playoff games. This is his 80th career playoff game today. Hits the second foul shot. And in those previous 79, 23.7 points per game. His career in the regular season is 19 points per game. Third free throw is good. He hits all 3. He ranked 12th in the league in scoring this year at over 25 a game, which was a huge number for Murray. And he's on the board here with those 3 free throws. Now Denver gets possession off of that flagrant 1 foul, and it's inbounded, and Jokic out of the short corner on the left side. Whips it cross court. That was deflected, and it's out of bounds. It'll belong to Minnesota. And a turnover by Jokic, who hasn't had the ball in his hands very much here to start this game. Gobert doing a good job on him defensively to start through 3 minutes. Minnesota on offense. DiVincenzo flips it to the inside. Randall on the left lane line. Back down on Murray. Steps back with a fadeaway jumper off one leg, and he swishes it down. Randall in the mid-range gets the 2. He led this Minnesota team in assists this season with 5 a game. What a well-rounded player Randall has become as Jokic on the perimeter feeds Johnson, who gets a clean look at a 3, and he drains it off right arc. And Johnson's hit a couple from downtown, and Denver's within 2. Randall dribbles into the front court, lofts a pass off right wing. DiVincenzo fakes a 3, snakes inside of the foul line, wraps it back up top. Edwards passes out of a shot. DiVincenzo feeds the left corner. McDaniels a strong drive to the rim. He missed the dunk. Ball out of bounds on the far side. It'll belong to Denver. So McDaniels makes a mess of the dunk. And now both teams will go to their respective benches again, as we might be getting a challenge now. Chris Finch wants a review over something here, and I think he believes that Jokic committed a foul and may have gotten McDaniels on the arm on the way through. So let's see. We've had an official initiated review, and now we might be getting a coach's challenge from Chris Finch and Minnesota, and on the replay definitely looked like Jokic got him on the arm, so Finch and the Timberwolves seem to have a case here. Minnesota 49-33 on the season. They were 23-18 on the road in the playoffs for the 5th consecutive season are the T-Wolves, who plays a good defensive game. Ranked 8th in the league in defensive rating, and they certainly hope that the presence of Rudy Gobert and the rest of this defense can slow down the attack of Denver, who led the NBA in scoring at over 122 points per game. They scored over 120 points 55 times this year. That was the most in the NBA. They led the league not only in scoring offense, but also in offensive rating. And when you have guys like Murray and Gordon and Jokic and that kind of big 3, and also the key contributors on the rest of the team, you can put up big numbers. They have reviewed that and come away with it as a foul on Jokic. So at the free throw line, Jaden McDaniels hits the first foul shot and now hits the second. So good challenge by Chris Finch. And McDaniels cashes in with a couple of free throws, and Jamal Murray dribbles into the front court for Denver. From our left to our right, the Nuggets in this first half. Bounce pass to Gordon off left wing, swings it right. Jokic behind a Murray screen, clean look at a 3, comes up short. Randall rips away the rebound for Minnesota, and here come the Timberwolves into the offensive end again. Randall will go right at Johnson, short corner right, forces up a shot, misses off the side of the rim. Rebound Murray, two-handed diagonal outlet pass to Johnson, top of the circle. Reversal Murray, quick pass right corner, free to fire on a 3. Gordon misses off the back of the rim. Weak side defensive rebound to Randall, and Minnesota has it again. 1 and out go the Nuggets. Edwards will force the ball into the front court. Gobert with a high screen, and Edwards hits the accelerator, stops right elbow, pulls back with a fadeaway jumper in the mid-range, and that skips off the rim, no good. Gordon clears away the defensive rebound for Denver, pushes it ahead. Jokic back to Gordon, accelerates in from the left, staggers free, and gets bumped, and a foul is called on Randall, and that's the second foul of this first quarter on Minnesota's Julius Randle. As Gordon was able to draw contact, and it'll be free throws for Gordon. Former number 4 overall draft pick some 12 years ago now, if you can believe that, by Orlando. And what a career he has had since moving to Denver. First free throw is good. And Naz Reid will check in for Minnesota for the first time. He'll replace Randall, who, as I mentioned, picked up that very crucial second foul. Gordon with a second free throw. Flick of the wrist, and it is good. And Denver shooting quite a bit of free throws here in the early going. Timberwolves bring it up from our right to our left. As we said, those pewter gray uniforms with numbers outlined in lime green. McDaniels steps into the right elbow, shoots a mid-range jumper, and that's nothing but net. As McDaniels has had a good start. He's got 8 of Minnesota's 16 points, and he's got a steal at the other end. He stole it from Murray, and McDaniels in transition with no one near him will throw it down. Right-handed slam. It's 18-12 Minnesota. Now it's 10 points for McDaniels. Jokic quarterbacks into the left corner. Johnson open, look at a three. Swirling miss. Rebound Gobert. Outletted subtly for Edwards. Edwards jab step off the top of the arc. He's got Murray defending. Edwards backpedals. Now swashbuckles his way to the top of the circle. Feeds it left on the wing, DiVincenzo. Back up top for Edwards. Shot clock inside of 10. Edwards steps back left wing. Rainbow three is good. Edwards knocks down his first three-point hit. 40% three-point shooter is Anthony Edwards on the season, and we get a timeout taken by Denver. As Edwards shoots the three and puts it down, and it is a terrific start for the Timberwolves on the road, out to a 21-12 lead. We'll step away and return. NBA playoffs underway today with a quadruple header, and earlier today, Cleveland on their home floor defeating Toronto 126-113. So the Cavaliers out to a 1-0 lead against the Raptors. That's how the playoffs got started. 24 points from R.J. Barrett, but it was Donovan Mitchell that led the way with 32 points for Cleveland. James Harden had 22 points along with 10 assists, and 24 off the bench from Max Strus. And Cleveland with a 13-point win on their home floor against Toronto later today. The Hawks and the Knicks in New York, and then the Rockets and the Lakers in L.A. to finish out the quadruple header of Game 1s to start the playoffs. And you can certainly make a strong case that this Denver-Minnesota series could be the most intriguing, maybe the most entertaining of all the first-round series. Talked about all the history that they have had together over the last few seasons. Denver inbounds out of the timeout. Gordon brings it up. Shoots it to the left corner for Murray. Now top of the circle, Jokic goes right at Gobert. Jokic lost it, got it back on the left blocks. Swings it back outside for Murray, whose return for Jokic is stolen by Gobert, who tries to bring it up in transition. Might have stepped out of bounds, though, and he did. It's a turnover by Gobert after he forced a turnover of his own. I'm sure Rudy Gobert hasn't led a lot of breaks in his career. Inbound far side front court. Brown gets it into Murray. Steps left on the wing. Throws up a three. Comes up short. And McDaniels is able to pull in the two-handed rebound for Minnesota. And here come the Wolves. Back ahead with Edwards. Zigging and zagging from left to right. Forces it off the left wing for Reed. Behind a Gobert screen. Reed at the foul line. Running floater. Missed it off the right side of the rim. Rebound tapped by Jokic. Controlled off the floor, however, by Gobert. Flings it back to the perimeter. Reset. McDaniels gives it to Edwards straight away. Shot clock at 7. Edwards, a straight line drive to the basket. Lays it in off the glass plus a foul. Chance at a three-point play for Anthony Edwards as he got a big running start and blew by Gordon and took it right to the rack. And a chance at a three-point play for Edwards. Foul is on Jokic. As Edwards and one free throw, hit off the front of the rim and bounced all around the iron and fell off. Jokic with the rebound and outlet it on for Gordon, and Denver will get the offense set. Jokic, as we've talked about, not a lot of touches so far in this first quarter. Drifts left corner, hand off Murray on the wing, dances top of the circle, just inside the arc, jumper for two. Comes up short. Edwards swipes the rebound. Here's Minnesota once again. Edwards a jab step, centered ball. McDaniels at the foul line, trying to cut away from Jokic, had it punched away. Ball's out of bounds. It'll belong to the Nuggets. So Denver will get it right back as we've got just north of 5 minutes to go in this first quarter, as you can see. Game 1 of this first round series in the West. And a really strong start on the road for Minnesota. Just what they would have wanted. As Jokic is bleeding a bit from the nose. Comes over to the bench and grabs a towel and tries to stop the bleeding. Plugs up the left nostril. Playoff basketball, as we know, so different than regular season basketball. It's a lot more physical. Court shrinks. Pace of play slows down. But Jokic is quickly right back onto the floor. Denver on the inbound. Murray with Ayo Dosunmu just into the game for Minnesota in his hip pocket defensively all the way up the floor. Screen comes from Jokic. Murray gets to the right elbow, wraps it up top. Jokic from straight away is free to fire, and he knocks down his first three as Jokic rips the cords from downtown. Bloody nose or not, he's still Nikola Jokic. Edwards at the other end, behind a Gobert screen, sneaks to the right elbow, whips it inside on a bounce. Gobert with a catch, spins away from the defender Gordon, and Gobert dunks it down. 25-15 start for Minnesota. Jokic, short corner left, shoulders his way in on Gobert, lost the handle again, gets it back, lost it again, got it back again, and then lost it for a third time, and finally it's stolen by Dosunmu. Bounce pass in transition, threaded to Naz Reid, and he slams it down. A right-handed slap on top of the rim, and Gobert with that steady, rock-hard defense, getting it done that trip, leading to an easy one for Minnesota. Come the Nuggets back into the front court again. Jokic from the top of the arc, hands off for Murray. Jokic sets a back screen. Murray sachets his way to the top of the circle, shoveled back to Jokic on the perimeter. Dosunmu to help. Jokic quarterbacks it to the left corner. Brown with an open look at a three, sticks it. Christian Brown hits the triple. And it's 27-18. Edwards back the other way, leaves it on the wing this way. Dosunmu. Gobert with a screen. Brown tried to fight through it. Dosunmu leans into a straightaway three, comes up well short. Rebound to Denver's Tim Hardaway Jr. on the floor for the first time. Jokic at the other end, looping pass. Brown cutting to the basket. Lays it up and in. Soft touch from Brown as he was able to catch a very shapely pass from Jokic to a cutting Brown down the lane. McDaniels at the other end feeds Gobert. Outside left, handoff Reed. Curls in from the left, goes to the rim, banks it up too strong. Jokic the rebound, whips the transition, feet ahead. Brown Euros his way around Edwards, then had it slapped away. Ball is free. Picked up by Hardaway. He shoots a mid-range jumper right of the lane, missed it too strong. McDaniels with the rebound, and here come the Timberwolves. McDaniels stomps his way forward. On the right elbow, looks to create space against Murray. Pulls back with a mid-range jumper. Missed off the left side of the rim. Rebound down to Denver and Jokic. Jokic back the other way. Throws up a lob! And Hardaway cuts up the right baseline. Goes airborne and slams it down. Jokic with a couple of really nice dimes in the last 3 possessions for Denver. They've scored 7 points in a row. Gobert from the foul line goes airborne, hooks a pass to the wing. Extra into the corner, finds Dosunmu, and he laces a triple with a corner pocket hit for the former Illinois Fighting Illini player. Jokic no-look feed, left corner Brown, lines up another 3, skips off the cup, no good. They had made 4 of their last 5 from the field prior to that Brown miss. Edwards brings it back up for Minnesota. High right screen from Reed. Edwards cuts to his left. Gobert screens for him. Threaded pass for Gobert. Deflected by Jokic. Gobert was able to locate. Bounced into the left corner. Dosunmu back up top. Reed. Reed spins his way into the lane. Loses it. Jokic takes it away. Off the steal. It's a 3-on-1. Jokic ahead. Hardaway drives in from the right. Goes to the rim. Met at the summit by Edwards. Loose ball rebound to Gordon, who goes back up and draws a foul. Edwards with the rejection of Hardaway on the break. But in the end, Gordon able to clean it up. And he'll get a trip to the line. Now the game's starting to open up just a bit here. And Jokic, who, as I mentioned, led the NBA in assists at over 10 a game, dropping a couple of really nice dimes here in this segment of play. Gordon at the free throw line, able to knock down the first with about 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Well, nonetheless, Minnesota has played extremely well to start this series on the road, come out with all of the playoff jitters, and play this well to start on the road. Gordon's second free throw comes up short, and Minnesota tears away with a rebound, and up the floor come the Timberwolves. Out of the right corner, Mike Conley on the floor for the first time. Has it on the wing, plays catch on the perimeter. Dosunmu now feeds it top of the circle. Kyle Anderson plays it back to a trailer. On the left wing, Dosunmu again thrusting up a 3 that comes up short. Jokic the rebound, diagonal outlet for Bruce Brown into the game for the first time for Denver. Dribbles off right arc, entry feed Gordon, left lane line, backs his way in, shoves a man down, and it's an offensive foul as he got tangled up with Conley. Gordon with a big size advantage there, but he elbowed Conley down. It's called an offensive foul, and now the Denver bench thinking about calling a challenge here. Boy, David Adelman is really lit up over on that Denver bench. See if the Nuggets are going to challenge this. Adelman certainly looks like he wants to. Gordon trying to chisel his way inside on Conley. He swung that right elbow just a bit. And Conley goes down, and let's see if Denver's going to challenge this or not. Certainly looked like the way Adelman came flying onto the floor that he wanted to, and yeah, the Nuggets will challenge this. Offensive foul called on Aaron Gordon, but now being contested by the Denver coaching staff. This is our third review of the first quarter, and verdict coming.
Dislodging him from his space. Ruling on the floor stands as an offensive foul.
Again, the craftiness.
It really didn't. I didn't look at it, especially on the replays, and think that this had a great chance of being overturned. Again, Gordon kind of swinging the elbows a little bit, and that's always going to catch the eye. And the offensive foul on Gordon is confirmed, and it stands rather, and that is now 3 fouls on Gordon in this first quarter, and that's the biggest reason, of course, why Adelman was so feverish and why he was so angry and wanted to challenge it. And that third foul on Gordon stays put. Dosunmu at the free throw line, and he hits what turned into a technical free throw because they called a Technical foul on Adelman, I believe. So play restarts, Minnesota on the ball. Bones Highland into the game for the first time for the Timberwolves, along with Conley. And Highland has it here. High screen comes from Anderson. Highland steps to his left. Entry feed Reed. Mid-post left. Wants to back his way in. Does. Then kicks it back out Highland. Shot clock at 2. Highland steps back. Throws up a wild rainbow 3 off left wing. Goes too strong with it. Jokic the rebound. Whips a quick outlet ahead up the left side of the floor for Johnson. Jokic screens. Johnson and Jokic play catch on the perimeter, and the return for Johnson was stolen. And a run out here off the steal, and an easy one for Minnesota. DeSumo lays it in transition. Here comes Johnson back the other way for Denver. Bounce pass on the left elbow for Jokic. Wants to back his way on Anderson. Kicks it out. Rising up for 3 off the left wing. Hardaway misses. Rebound spiked into the floor. Taken by Highland. And Minnesota has it again. This defense is dug in here in this first quarter. One of the top defensive units in the NBA. Highland, short corner right, threads a bounce pass, cross court into the left corner. Conley takes it to the elbow, wraps it back up top. Shot clock at 7 for Reed. Reed fakes left, goes right, back left, and hooks it up. Glass and rim miss. Rebound down to Brown. Shot clock turned off for the Nuggets with 15 seconds to go. In this first quarter, Brown standing on the right side of the midcourt logo. Conley picks him up defensively. Brown a left-handed dribble. Hardaway flashes to his right. Shoves it off to Jokic. Back for Brown. Dribble drive to the inside. Turns. Lifts it up right-handed. Left it short. Rebound Minnesota, and that's the end of the first quarter. A 33-point first quarter on the road for the Timberwolves. And a 10-point lead through the first dozen in Game 1 between the Wolves and the Nuggets in Denver. We'll step away and return in a moment. The NBA playoffs underway, and Minnesota with a good start. (33-23) at the end of the first quarter. Minnesota ahead of Denver. Game 1 of this Western Conference first-round tilt between the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. And Minnesota came out shooting the ball well, but even more importantly than that, especially for this team, they dug their heels in defensively, played extremely well on that side. And they have built a 10-point lead through the first quarter. And again, Aaron Gordon picking up 3 fouls in that first quarter for Denver, something that's going to impact the rest of this game. Second quarter gets underway as it'll be the Nuggets bringing the ball up the floor from left to right. Jamal Murray drifting left with a dribble to the left elbow. Out of traffic, he kicks it up top. Bruce Brown gets a clean look at a 3, and he swishes it down from up top. So Brown hits a triple, makes it a 7-point game. Here's Minnesota back on it. Conley directs a bounce pass to his right. Reed on the perimeter. Dribble handoff to be taken by Dosunmu. Back this way for Bones Highland. Gobert, quick screen and roll. Highland whips it right, and Dosunmu with a pass into the right corner intended for Reed. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay with Minnesota. Shot clock at 7. Just underway second quarter. Inbound far side front court into Highland, who went airborne to catch. Brown defensively. Outside right, Highland puts it on the deck, drives his way in, glides to the rim, lays it up, and it won't fall. Somehow that layup clatters off. Rebound down to Denver, and here's Hardaway into the front court. Jonas Valanciunas into the game for the first time for Denver, trying to set a screen. Hardaway tried to go away from it, tight ropes the left baseline, and is called for stepping out of bounds, so it's a Denver turnover. And Minnesota will get possession back, and up the floor they come with Conley, the 38-year-old that spent half of those 38 years of his life in the NBA. Hooks it up top. Reed takes a 3 from straight away, and he can hit those, and he hits it right there. He's a 36% three-point shooter, and he knocks that one down. Averaged 15 points per game off the bench in the 4 games that Minnesota played against Denver in the regular season. Jonas Valanciunas dribbling on the perimeter, and we've got a whistle and a foul. Of course, the 4 games that these two played in the regular season, a lot of firepower, a lot of scoring. They played a game on Christmas that went to overtime, and Denver won that one 142-138 here in Denver on Christmas. Nuggets won 3 of those 4 meetings. Inbound to Valanciunas. High post left, slings it inside. Brown through traffic, kicks to the right corner. Gathered by Hardaway, and out of the corner pocket, he nails a 3. Know how Hardaway can get going from 3 when he's on. 5th made 3 so far for Denver. Here's Dosunmu on the floor from straight away, top of the arc. Drives in from the right against Murray, and it's taken away by Brown, who picks the pocket of the Minnesota guard, and Brown comes back the other way. Dances to the foul line, pull-up jumper, misses off the heel. Gobert the rebound, quickly flexes it forward. In transition for Conley. Back for Reed up top, jab step, between the legs. Dribble goes in at Brown, and Brown is called for the foul. Brown disagrees with that call, as the players often do. And Denver, make that Minnesota rather, will inbound near side front court. Inbound comes in to Highland, who sprints to his right, bounces it back this way for Dosunmu at the midcourt logo. Back for Highland, triggers a pass into the right corner, taken by Conley. Return for Highland, dribble drive, flashes to the rim, lays it up, won't go, but the tap follow does. Gobert was in there swatting at the ball, just trying to control the rebound, and he ended up tapping it up and in. 9-point lead here for the Timberwolves. They led by 10 at the end of the first quarter. Early second, Murray with his head down, cuts to the left elbow. Conley defends. Murray steps back. Fadeaway jumper in the mid-range is good. 15-footer off one leg for Murray over the defense of the grizzled veteran Conley. 7-point lead here for the Timberwolves, the number 6 seed in the West, just clearing the play-in. Highland quarterbacks it inside. Conley got free on the left lane line. Centered back to Gobert at the foul line. His floater missed off glass. Valanciunas is there to swipe the rebound, and here come the Nuggets. Once again up the floor with Murray, who tells everyone to get forward. Murray on the Ball Arena logo, left side of the floor. Crossover dribble with Reed out there defending. That's a lot of size that Reed has. Murray tries to take him on. Jitterbug move to the top of the arc, launches a 3, no. Brown offensive rebound, and the putback got over Gobert. It goes down, plus a foul. Chance at a three-point play. Looked like Gobert had an easy block there, but he had to pull back because it was on its way down. And it ends up with Brown getting the basket. And he's fired up as Bruce Brown, who goes to the line and completes the three-point play. So Denver, after a bit of a sluggish start, within 4 here. And here's Minnesota on offense. Randall back on the floor. Left-handed dribble on the perimeter with Johnson defending. Swings it right. Conley threads a bounce pass. Gobert cutting in from the right. Gets to the rim. Lays it in. Plus a foul on Valanciunas. And now Gobert with a chance to complete a three-point play of his own to match the one that Brown had at the other end. Great pick-and-roll play there between a couple of seasoned veterans, Conley and Gobert, who, of course, does struggle from the free throw line, 53% for the season. 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. Misses the and-one free throw, rebounded by the Nuggets. And Murray will once again bring the ball up court. Flashes across the timing line, cuts to his right. Murray on the elbow, steps back with a fadeaway jumper, and that's smooth. Smooth pullback jumper by Jamal Murray. Minnesota again. Randall dribbles and leaves it on the left wing for Dosunmu, who directs traffic with an outstretched left hand. Gobert a screen behind it. Dosunmu launches the three, and this time he bullets it down. Rough start from beyond the arc for Dosunmu, but he slashes that three down. Back to a 7-point Minnesota lead. Here's Murray. Outside left. Conley bumps on him defensively. Murray going to try to back him down. Big size advantage here for Murray. Fade back jumper on the baseline misses, but he draws a foul. And Conley the one that picks it up. And Murray will go to the line. So Murray to shoot at the stripe. And yeah, as I said, Murray quite a bit more size than Conley. 3 inches and about 35 pounds. As Murray to the foul line knocks down his first. He's an 89% free throw shooter. Rarely misses from the stripe. Johnson goes to the bench for Denver. He'll get a breather. As Murray sets up for one more at the line. Bends the knees, flicks the wrist, free throw is good. Murray hits a pair. 5-point game here. Nearing the midway point of the second quarter. Dosunmu will dribble it forward left-handed. Bounce a pass to the right arc to be taken by Randall. Randall with a defender right in front of him. Bounces it to the opposite side of the floor. Gobert back for Randall. Still defended by Spencer Jones. Randall to the left elbow. Comes baseline. Pulls up with a jumper. Misses off the right side of the rim. Valanciunas clears away the rebound. Pushes it ahead for Hardaway, who goes court width for Murray. Murray brings it back up and sets the Denver offense. Hardaway a screen. Murray wanted to drive up the middle. DiVincenzo was there to cover him off. Murray a reload down the lane. Running floater. Flips it up off the back of the rim, but he draws another foul. And Murray will go right back to the line again. Jokic still on the bench. Has not played so far in this second quarter. And Murray at the line to take another two. Now Jokic is going to get off the bench here, and he's going to, looks like he's going to come in as Murray at the free throw line. Anthony Edwards going to come back in as well, along with Jokic. McDaniels in for Minnesota again, as Murray's second free throw is good. And they have almost erased the 10-point deficit that they had at the end of the first quarter of the Nuggets, as Murray hits a pair to make it a 3-point game. Edwards sets the offense. Jones defends. Edwards a three over the top of him. Halfway down, popped out. Rebound swatted at. Out of bounds. Spencer Jones and Naz Reid going for it. Beg your pardon, Naz Reid and Bruce Brown. And they say it's last off Brown, who's been very animated here in his time on the floor. And possession, well, now the officials have talked and they've reversed the call, giving it to Denver. by the looks of it. And now both teams head over to the bench, and we might be getting another challenge here. Plenty of trips to the monitor here in the first half. So we'll see what gets said about this. But Denver in this second quarter on a 17-10 spurt here to cut a 10-point deficit down to 3. Again, Stanley Cup playoffs underway. Game 1 of the playoffs between the Senators and the Hurricanes in Raleigh going on this channel as we speak. Jarek Rubel at the controls of that stream. Carolina leading Ottawa 1-0 late in the second period in a grinded-out game, which is what that series will continue to be. You would expect we'll have Flyers and Penguins coming your way on the channel later tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Play is restarted, and they have kept possession with Denver. Jokic skips a bounce pass to the right corner. Murray launches a three that misses short. Rebound down to Edwards, and Minnesota has it going into the offensive end to our left. Edwards with a hard left-handed dribble. Swings it to his left, McDaniels. Return for Murray, defended by Brown. Edwards with a blow-by, gets to the rim from the left and lays it in. Edwards with a quick deuce on the driving layup. Bruce Brown into the front court for Denver. Jokic high screen. Brown, quick drive up the middle, got to the rim and didn't know what to do with it, and he left the layup short. Rebound Randall. Peels away for Minnesota. Gets to the left elbow quickly. Backs his way in on Hardaway. Goes up. There's contact and a foul called on Hardaway. And that will yield free throws for Julius Randle. Mention how vocal and emotive Bruce Brown has been so far in the first quarter and a half, and might be a little bit more emotional after blowing that layup. As free throws now coming for Randall, 80% foul shooter during the regular season. Sinks number 1. Game 2 of this series will be Monday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, much earlier start time to Game 1, and there will be in Game 2. Game 3 will be Thursday night. Game 4 next Saturday night, as Randall is able to knock down the second free throw, and he hits both. Nuggets back forward with Johnson. Hits the brakes off the left of the midcourt logo. Jokic way out to set a screen. Johnson dribble drive to the rim, and he lays it up and home. That was all Cam Johnson on that possession for Denver, who never gave up the ball and got 2. 7 for Johnson in this first half. Minnesota on offense with Edwards outside left, 40 feet from the basket, looks to his right. Brown still defends. Reversal on the perimeter. Randall fakes a three, now steps back and takes it. Off left wing, comes up short. Rebound picked up by Brown. And the Nuggets have it again. Brown threads a bounce pass, top of the arc. Jokic shovels it back. Johnson's left alone. He'll try the three, and he slingshots it down. Cam Johnson with a double-digit scoring first half for a guy that averages 12 a game on the season. He hits his second triple, and we're down to a 2-point game. Reed engineers it inside, kicks it back out. Randall fumbled the pass, was able to recover. Feeds it right on the wing for DiVincenzo. DiVincenzo backpedals to the midcourt logo. Back for Randall, who looks to go in at Johnson. Now pulls back with a right wing three as the shot clock winds down and it misses. Rebound down to Brown. Nuggets ball, a chance to tie or take the lead. Jokic top of the key. Handoff Hardaway, sprints left. He'll drive in, whip it out. Brown extra feed. Right corner open look. Spencer Jones misfires too strong from 3. And we've got a whistle and a foul after the miss is going against Minnesota. Looks like it's going on Reed. And are they saying that Reed fouled Jones in the act of shooting that three because it was a very late whistle? Wow. That, just looked at a replay. That did not look like much at all. Jones misses the first free throw. Second-year player out of Stanford, originally from the state of Kansas. That's a tough foul. that Reed has to take there because there was very little contact on the flyby. Second free throw is good. And Jones will get his third free throw, and if he can hit that, we'll be tied after Minnesota led at the end of the first quarter by 10. But Denver has now erased that gap, and they've tied the game with those free throws from Jones, hitting 2 out of 3. Denver scored 7 points in a row. Edwards into the front court. Brown back on the floor, picks him up defensively. Bounce pass right perimeter, Gobert. Return for Edwards. Dribble drive. Brown defending. Jokic to help. Edwards inside the foul line. Turns left. Corkscrews. Fadeaway jumper miss short, but we get a whistle and a foul going against the Nuggets here. That might be a makeup call from the last whistle at the other end that shouldn't have been blown on Reed, and there's not a lot of contact there either, but they've called a foul on Brown in the act of Edwards shooting the jumper. So Edwards will get 2 at the line. Both teams are over the limit as Edwards spins the first free throw in. 48-47, Minnesota leads with just north of 4 minutes to go in the first half. Tomorrow, here on the channel, tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we'll have another NBA playoff game 1 for you as Edwards hits the second free throw. Victor Wembanyama will make his playoff debut as the Spurs host the Portland Trail Blazers. 9 o'clock tomorrow night here on the channel. Bruce Brown dribbles ahead, feeds it right. Jokic left alone. He'll shoot the 3 and splash it down. And Denver has taken the lead as Jokic hits the bullseye from 3. First lead since there was just 2 minutes gone. Here's Edwards. Wow, cranking his way into the lane through traffic, and he lays it in. And Minnesota's right back in front. Now a whistle blows, and they might get Edwards for a delay of game violation. He did get tangled up with the ball after he made the basket. I'm not sure he did that intentionally at all. And now play restarts very quickly. Nuggets ball into the offensive end. Jokic gets doubled out of the right corner. Now they fade away from it. He steps in, bounces it underneath the basket. Brown whips it back out. Johnson on the perimeter throws it away. His feed for Brown was too far out in front of his target. So a Denver turnover. So Minnesota trailed very briefly. Edwards giving them the lead back with that driving layup. And here come the Timberwolves again. Johnson out on the perimeter defending Edwards, near left wing. Edwards a jab step. Johnson crowds him defensively. Brown comes over to double. They get the ball out of Edwards' hands. Randall back for Edwards on the left wing. Rainbow 3 launched up, comes off the front of the rim. Rebound down to Brown. And here come the Nuggets again. Jokic flings it into the left corner for Brown. Return for Jokic. Turns and faces Gobert on the perimeter. Jokic a dribble to the top of the circle. Fakes a handoff. Plays patty cake with himself here as he taps the ball from his right hand to his left. Now Brown up top with 5 to shoot. Sneaks to the left elbow. Going to have to do something quickly. And he fumbles it on the drive. Out of bounds. A Denver turnover. So back to Minnesota. The ball will go with under 3 minutes left here in this first half. A 51-50 lead for the Timberwolves here. We'll see who finishes out this half the best and gets some locker room momentum, but there's no doubt about it. Minnesota has played a really strong first half, particularly on the defensive end, but overall their performance on the road to start this series has been really strong. But 10-point lead they had at the end of the first, and that is all but gone. And we'll see who, as I mentioned, finishes this first half the best and gets a halftime lead. So with under 3 to go in the half, Minnesota to inbound, and Edwards will bring it forward across the timing line, swings it left for Gobert. Catches just beyond the elbow. Now he's all the way out on the perimeter, toeing the arc. Handoff Edwards, shoveled across the floor. McDaniels feeds it right in the corner. Randall tries to back his way in on Jones. Randall elbows for space, gets to the paint, and is able to hook it up and home. Randall with the bucket. 3-point lead, Minnesota. Into the front court, Jokic rifles a one-handed pass off the right wing for Murray. Holds the ball over his head with McDaniels defending on the perimeter. Bounce for Jokic. Goes at Gobert. Bumping, shouldering. Kicks out. Left wing Jones. He's free to fire. And he laces a three, and we're tied at 53. Spencer Jones knocks in the triple. 40% three-point shooter. Won't shoot a lot, but will make him when he does. Randall will take one of his own. Misses wide right. Rebound Jokic. Nuggets with a chance to claim the lead in the final two of the first half. Murray high screen. Jokic gets it to Murray, who stumbles, falls down, and we get a whistle, and a foul is called against Minnesota. McDaniels got his legs tangled up with Murray, and when Murray started to stumble, those two end up with a coming together, and it's a foul that'll send Murray to the line. Again, both teams are in the bonus to finish this half. So Murray at the line, as we mentioned earlier, almost automatic, just under 90%. Able to hit the first, and Denver puts the nose back out in front. These two teams trying to join the Cleveland Cavaliers as Game 1 winners here on this opening day of the playoffs. Cleveland with a 13-point home victory over Toronto earlier in the day. Big performance from Donovan Mitchell, and off the bench, Max Strus was terrific. Second free throw is good, so 2 hits at the line for Murray. Puts Denver ahead by a deuce. Minnesota brings the ball back up. Shoveled by McDaniels into the lane. Gobert cutting in, and he gets an easy bucket right at the rim. Double Nikola piece here as we play with about a minute and a half left in the half. Murray quickly on the offensive end, steps into a left, make that a right elbow jumper, and he drains the two-pointer. Early offense there for Murray. He's got 15 and a half. McDaniels at the other end. Spin cycles to the lane line on the near side. Whips it back out. Dosunmu feeds it on the far side. Edwards. Gobert out for a screen. Edwards outside right. Shovels it into the left corner. McDaniels drives the closeout. Baseline drive to the rim. Up, under, and in on the reverse. McDaniels with a pretty reverse layup. And we're tied at 57 as we strike the final minute of the first half. Jokic on the perimeter. Handoff Murray. Murray steps to the left wing. Right-handed dribble. Slips it back for Jokic. Return for Murray, who drove down the lane and got bumped hard. And a foul ends up going against Dosunmu in Minnesota as Murray gets help to his feet. Well, they reversed the order there, did Denver, with Jokic the one feeding Murray on the roll. Murray into the paint. Ran into a brick wall. Murray to the line again. He's taken quite a bit of free throws in this first half. Hits that one. Jamal Murray in the 4 regular season meetings against Minnesota this year. Played extremely well, as he always does, and we talked about what a great playoff performer he's been in his career. Hits the second free throw. 2-point Denver lead. 17 first half points for Jamal Murray. Edwards is just one pace inside of midcourt here. On the logo at midcourt. Cuts out to his right. Jokic follows him defensively. Brown to help. Edwards gets rid of it in the right corner, and Dante DiVincenzo sticks the landing from deep as he hits a 3 out of the corner. Denver back the other way. Could go 2 for 1 here if they hurry. Doesn't look like they're looking for it. They're not. Jokic on the outside. Drives at Gobert. Kicks left corner. Free to fire for 3 is Brown, and he knocks it down. Brown hits a 3 of his own. Denver ahead by a bucket. Shot clock turned off, and we'll end the half right here. Edwards holding the ball, switching hands on the dribble, left to right. 10 seconds to go. Murray up top. Gobert, strong straight line drive down the middle of the lane, goes to the rim and lays it in. Rudy Gobert with the basket. Denver on the inbound. Jokic across midcourt. Left side of the floor with 2 seconds on the elbow. Puts up a contested jumper over Edwards. It comes up short. And that's the end of the first half, and we're dead even at the break. 62-62. Rudy Gobert with a driving layup ends the first half, and Denver able to erase what was a 10-point deficit at the end of the first quarter. Draws it back level through 24 minutes. 24-24 at 62-62 after 24 here in Game 1 between Minnesota and Denver. The Timberwolves shooting the ball 53% from the field in that first half to Denver's 45%. Nuggets made 9 threes. Minnesota made 7. Nuggets were +3 on the glass, but Minnesota paint presence terrific. Outscored the Nuggets in the paint by nearly a 3-to-1 ratio, 28-10 in the paint. The advantage for Minnesota, who led for 85% of that first half. Halftime in Colorado, Timberwolves and Nuggets tied at 62 as they began their Western Conference first round best-of-7 series. We'll return with the second half right around the corner as the NBA playoffs are underway. Ready for the second half to get underway at Ball Arena in Denver, Colorado. The Nuggets and the Timberwolves playing to a stalemate in the first half, 62-62. Minnesota had a 10-point lead at the end of the first quarter. The Nuggets able to erase it in the second. And we get ready for the second half to get underway as the NBA playoffs, opening day of the playoffs. Cleveland a winner over Toronto earlier, now a game one here. And away we go to start the second half. The Nuggets will bring the ball up with Jamal Murray, pressured in the backcourt by Anthony Edwards. Murray hands it off for Aaron Gordon, who had to sit on the bench for a long time after picking up 3 fouls in the first quarter. He gets the ball to Jokic. Jokic lumbers into the lane. Fadeaway floater wouldn't go. Gordon rescues it and gives it back to Jokic, and he lays it in. So Gordon back on the floor, and he makes an immediate impact as he gets the offensive rebound and the assist on the Jokic basket. Only 6 first-half points for Nikola Jokic as Gobert goes between the legs on a pass to Edwards at the other end. Now Edwards behind Gobert, shoots a right wing three, comes up short, repelled off the front of the rim. Murray the rebound, and he'll launch a three in transition at the other end, misses wide right. Jaden McDaniels the rebound for Minnesota, and the Timberwolves bring it up with Julius Randle. Randle, a zigzag drive, gets into the paint, tries to Euro his way around Jokic. Layup misses off the heel. Scrap for the rebound, and a foul going against the Nuggets. Against Jokic. So Randle able to draw the foul. It's on the floor. DiVincenzo will trigger. Far side front court. Gobert up at the head of the key, back for Edwards on a handoff, swings it wing to wing. Far left side Randle, handoff on the perimeter, DiVincenzo. Gordon covers him defensively. DiVincenzo goes at him, pulls up for the foul line. Jumper misses too strong. Rebound Murray. Here come the Nuggets again. Murray flashes in from the right against Randle, gets around him, and Murray on a corkscrew lays it up and in. 4-point lead for Denver is their largest lead so far of the game. 19 points for Jamal Murray. Edwards handles, left-handed dribble, top of the key. Murray defends. Edwards right there on him. Tries to push him away, and it's an offensive foul. It's a very easy call for the official on the near side to make right there as Edwards had Murray nose-to-nose with him. Tried to shove him away, and that was caught easily. Denver back on offense. Gordon left-handed dribble across the timing line. Randle out there defending. Murray out for the ball. Gordon gets it to him. Murray reverses course to the left elbow. Wraps it up top. Jokic fakes the three. Drives the closeout of Gobert. Gets to the rim. And finger rolls it in. And Denver's got the first 6 points of the third quarter. Jokic into double digits at long last. Gobert going right at Jokic at the other end. Draws contact and a foul called against Jokic as Gobert took that ball about 30 feet from the basket and went straight at Jokic and to the rim. And Jokic ends up getting called for the foul. Talked earlier about how this series is going to be so intriguing for so many reasons, but maybe the biggest mark that we'll be paying attention to throughout this series is that battle between Jokic and Gobert. Gobert at the free throw line. That one goes begging off the side of the rim and misses. 53% foul shooter during the regular season was Gobert. Denver fans get loud as Gobert has the second one go all the way around and drop in to get Minnesota's first point of the half. And here come the Nuggets up the other direction. They attack from our right to our left in the second half. White uniforms, navy blue numbers, gold trim. Murray in from the left, whips it up top. Jokic could not be more wide open, and his three swirls around and misses. Gobert the rebound, outletted for Edwards. Edwards sets the offense. Gordon picks him up defensively. Edwards jab steps back for three. Top of the key, no. Rebound Jokic, and he'll dribble it forward with long strides. Gives it for Murray on the right wing. He steps inside the arc on the elbow. Jokic a screen. Murray behind it. Straight on three. Comes up short. Rebound Gobert. Edwards flexes an outlet ahead up the left side of the floor for Randle. Randall for Edwards again. Randall a flash screen. Edwards off left wing. Gordon defending. Brown is there defensively. Centered ball. Randall running start at Brown. Leans in with a floater. Off the heel, no. Scrap for the rebound. It's out of bounds. It's going to stay with Minnesota. So Timberwolves will keep possession. 3 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Denver outscoring Minnesota in this third quarter 6-1. Inbound Gobert, outside right, centered it back for McDaniels. McDaniels, who had big games against Denver in the regular season, shoots a straight-on three, a line drive miss. Rebound Gordon back the other direction. Hits the accelerator. Randall stops him right in his path. Gordon backpedals right wing, handoff. Jokic takes on Gobert, spins off of him. Jokic lost the ball. DiVincenzo a steal. 3 wide the other way, Minnesota. DiVincenzo to Edwards, a drive up the middle to the rim. Lefty layup, no. Randall on the follow. Gets it to drop. Minnesota's first field goal of the quarter. Needed 3.5 minutes to get it. At the other end, Murray steps his way around Edwards, comes to the foul line, steps back, top of the circle, 18-foot jumper, misses in the mid-range. McDaniels is there to snatch the rebound. Forward he comes 4-on-4. Leaves it on the right wing. DiVincenzo takes, fires a three, and slashes it down. DiVincenzo drops the triple. And we're tied again, 68 all. Cam Johnson for Denver, bounce pass to his left, directed. Jokic 1 foot over the arc, taken now by Brown. Brown curls in from the left, draws a crowd, kicks up top again. Jokic could not be more wide open. Triggers the three and clanks it off the side of the rim, no good. Rebound Edwards. Minnesota a chance to reclaim the lead here. Edwards drifts to his left. Gordon is on him defensively with those 3 fouls. Edwards starts his move, cuts back, elbow jumper, comes up short. Brown the rebound, pushed ahead in transition without numbers to Gordon. Uri! Oh! Aaron Gordon! A thunderous slam! Took out a lot of anger and frustration right there. At the other end, DiVincenzo unable to hit a right wing three. Jokic the rebound. Forward he comes. Sets the offense. Swings it left. Murray on the wing. Fakes a three. DiVincenzo's there to close him out. Jokic a screen. Murray curls. Bounce pass. Jokic in the lane. Floater blocked by Gobert. But it'll count. It was on its way down. So Gobert called for the goaltend. So Jokic gets credit for the basket, a possession after that a big slam by Gordon. Minnesota up the floor with Edwards. Cross the timing line into the front court to our right. Hands for McDaniels, now given to Randall, and he'll drive up the left baseline through a double, shovels it up, no, rebound, found off the floor by Gordon, and he accelerates again, leaves it in the right corner, Johnson, wrap back, Gordon, in the corner, up for three, wow, is he feeling it? Timeout, Minnesota! And Aaron Gordon finally able to stay on the floor for a little bit. My goodness. 7-point Denver lead as Gordon drops down a three. This is Denver's largest lead so far. Back in a moment. Back in Denver as play restarts. Anthony Edwards brings the ball up the floor for Minnesota. Out of that timeout, they now trail by 7. Centered ball, McDaniels lumbers to the foul line. Running floater misses. Jokic was able to claw the rebound away with one hand. Then it ends up out of bounds, and it'll stay with Denver as McDaniels punched it out of Jokic's grasp. Denver on the trigger in. Up the floor comes Gordon, who had that authoritative slam few possessions back, then hit a 3 to lead to the timeout. Now here's Murray driving in from the left to the rim, draws contact and a foul on McDaniels. We'll get Murray to the line. Murray has taken a good amount of free throws so far in this one, and he'll get there here to try to extend this lead. Knocks down his first. 8-point lead for the Nuggets, who went 28-13 on their home floor this season. 54-28 for the year, third in the West behind only Oklahoma City and San Antonio. The talk about how epic the Western Conference playoffs could be. Those three teams right there. My goodness, if we could get Denver and San Antonio in the second round. Good gracious. Murray hits both of his free throws, gives him 21 points. Midway through the third, DiVincenzo curls in from the left, running floater, missed it short, and Murray is able to grab the rebound. Forward he comes, 4-on-3 for a moment. He slows down the pace, shovels for Jokic, back to Murray, steps back right arc, feeds the corner on the far side. Hardaway, top of the circle. Ball reversal up top for Jokic. Gobert on the perimeter defending. Murray screen. Jokic lofts a pass to the left corner. Caught there. Hardaway up for 3. Comes up short. Tap followed by Gordon. Wouldn't go, but a foul is called, and it's against Edwards, who made contact with Gordon to try to keep him away from the rebound. So Gordon on the pullback. Got Gordon by his left shoulder. So Gordon, I make that Edwards called for the foul, and he'll now go to the bench. Denver with a 9-point lead, their largest lead so far in this game. Inbound far side front court, Gordon in for Jokic, standing on the right arc. Handoff Murray, comes middle of the floor, launches away on a 3. It won't fall, and the rebound lassoed in by Naz Reid, back in for Minnesota. Reid into the front court. Gordon picks him up. Reid drifts left on the perimeter. Handoff DiVincenzo. Slings it back this way to Sumu. Back for Reid up top. Pitched it along into the right corner. McDaniels tries to work his way in against the defensive Brown. McDaniels in the lane. Turns left. Fadeaway jumper misses. Rebound down to Jokic. Jokic up the floor. Bounce pass threaded to Brown. Spin cycles down the lane. Throws it up wildly. All the way over the top of the glass and out of bounds. It'll belong to Minnesota. Just over 5 minutes left, third quarter. Got the Copa del Rey final in extra time right now. Currently on this channel, Seth Eves on that stream. You've got Jarek Rubel on the Hurricanes and Senators opening game of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Carolina has just taken a 2-0 lead there in the third period. And then game one between the T-Wolves and the Nuggets right here. Three tremendous battles going on here on this channel as Minnesota has committed an offensive foul away from the ball. Kyle Anderson setting an illegal screen. So a Timberwolves turnover, and the Nuggets bring it back the other way. Jokic makes a tough catch. Dribbles short corner right. Reid defends. Anderson to help. Jokic hooks it back up top for Murray. Jokic sets a screen. Murray sprints right. Tries to wind his way inside. Wow! And throws it up and in, plus a foul! Murray with a chance at a 3-point play. Some Murray magic right there. I'm not sure how he got that to go. Through the contact of Reid, and Murray banks it in. And Denver is rolling here. They have outscored Minnesota in this third quarter, 17 to 6. Trying to get my math together. One more at the line for Murray as he tries to complete the 3-point play, and he does. Denver has now made 22 free throws in this game. Huge advantage at the line for the Nuggets. Their lead is up to 12. McDaniels off right wing, launches a three. That's off the front of the rim, missed it short. Rebounded by Denver. That's 7 straight misses from the field here for Minnesota. It's allowed Denver to swell this lead. Jokic towing the arc. Top of the circle, bounce past Murray. Corkscrews inside, turns right, flips it up. No, Gordon comes parachuting in and slams it down. An Aaron Gordon masterclass right now in this third quarter. Quick three, Reed misses, back tap, and an offensive rebound. Reed out of the right corner, drives, gives it up across the lane, layup misses, rebound swatted into the ground. Reset by McDaniels, fading jumper, good. Oh, and then he shoves Jokic after the basket, and that's going to yield a whistle and a foul. And Hardaway going right after McDaniels there, as the Nuggets won't like that. Well, Aaron Gordon with a tremendous play at the other end, but out of a big scramble, McDaniels finally able to get that shot to go. And after the basket, he just shoved Jokic in the back. Back turned, and McDaniels with a two-handed shove. And as you would imagine, Denver players weren't happy about that. And we're going back to the monitor here. And, yeah, that's technical foul has already been assessed on Jaden McDaniels. And, he got caught red-handed on that. So they've given him a technical foul. Now they're at the monitor. This is, I think, the 5th time the officials have been at the monitor in this game. That's just pretty nonsensical there for McDaniels.
Which is an unsportsmanlike technical foul.
So you hear the verdict right there, an unsportsmanlike technical foul there on Jaden McDaniels, who, as I mentioned earlier, had big games against Denver in the regular season, averaged 20 points per game in those 4 regular season meetings with the Nuggets this year, but pretty stupid decision right there by McDaniels. Denver with all the momentum right now in this game, and now a chance to add to their lead even further here as Murray will step to the line after the technical foul on McDaniels. Murray pours in the free throw. Lead builds to 13. And I think the frustration building for Minnesota is because, boy, the Nuggets have been getting a lot of fouls called their way, and they're getting getting to the free throw line a lot here, and Minnesota's not. Here's Murray. Off left wing, feeds it up top, gets it back, right elbow. Murray at the foul line. Fadeaway jumper is good. Oh, Jamal Murray in his bag right now. He is now 15 of 15 from the free throw line, and he has 27 points in this game. The Nuggets on a 17-2 run. McDaniels out of the right corner, drifts to the wing, chisels his way in on a drive, pass Brown to the rack, and he lays it in. 13-point lead for the Nuggets as we approach the final 3 minutes of the third. McDaniels has 16. Gordon outside right, rises for three, misses off the heel. That's a heat check three from Gordon, who's had a great quarter. McDaniels the rebound, ahead for Reed, in full flight to the rim. Had it swatted out of his hands, out of bounds. It'll stay with Minnesota. Under 3 to go here in this third quarter. And a timeout on the floor. We'll step away and return in a moment. Set to return to action with under 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Denver plus 13 in the third quarter and a 13-point lead against Minnesota here. Timberwolves inbound it up top. Crank to the left wing. Reed receives the pass and then fumbles it, and it's taken away by Brown, whose outlet was deflected. Eventually gets to his target, Cam Johnson. Shoveled to Jokic on the left wing, now into the corner. Taken by Brown, who looks left, and Jokic was doubled, so he centers it for Gordon. Now back to Jokic at the top of the circle, and he had Reed almost hanging on his shoulders, and the foul called against Naz Reid in Minnesota. And more free throws coming for Denver as they are in the bonus. And again, the free throw discrepancy has been huge in this game. Denver about to take their 24th and 25th free throws of the game. Minnesota has taken 13. Actually, wow. They are making Denver inbound. I don't understand why. Inbound to Gordon up high. Given to Jokic, who toes the arc. He turns and faces Randall. Tries to back in on him. Jokic turns right, fadeaway jumper. Clanks off the rim, no good. Rebound Minnesota. I have no idea why that did not end up in free throws, because Denver is in the bonus. Edwards around a screen, curls to the foul line. From the left elbow, steps in, forces it up. Around the rim, no. Fight for the rebound was claimed by Gordon, but we've got a whistle. Foul going against the Nuggets here, so Minnesota will get some free throws as Brown from behind trying to get a piece of the ball. Apparently he got Edwards just slightly on the top of his head. I was going to say there was no contact with his hand, but there was just slightly on the crown of his head. So one more at the line for Edwards. Minnesota trying to stay within striking distance here, down a dozen after they led by double digits themselves at the end of the first quarter. Edwards' second free throw is good, so he's able to hit two. 11-point Denver lead. Nuggets up the floor with Brown, bringing across the timing line. Feeds it left Hardaway, now to Jokic, diving in, got by Randall to the rim. Lefty layup is good, as Jokic got free from Randall pretty easily. Jokic is just a couple of assists shy of a triple-double. No one had more triple-doubles than he did in the regular season. Edwards drives right baseline, cross-court feed intercepted. In transition, it's Johnson to the rim, missed the layup. Brown then fumbled the rebound. It glances off the outstretched hand of Dosunmu. Goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Denver off Dosunmu last. Johnson thought he was fouled, and he ended up missing the layup, but in the end, Denver keeps possession. That was weird. Inbound lofted to the right elbow. Jokic catches, comes to the foul line, shoots a high arcing jumper in the mid-range over Randall, and drops it in. Denver by 15. Jokic at 16 points, 10 rebounds, and actually at 7 assists rather than 8. So he's 3 assists shy of a triple-double. Dosunmu zigging and zagging on the right wing. Feeds it up top, Conley. Leaves it on the left wing for Edwards. Initiates a drive down the middle through traffic. And like a hot knife through butter, Edwards gets to the rim and lays it in. About a minute to go here in this third quarter. It is a 13-point Denver lead. Tim Hardaway Jr. flings it forward into the front court for Jokic, who catches at the top of the arc, dribbles once to his right, turns back and leaves it at the top of the key for Brown, who around the Jokic screen will attack to the rim, lays it up high off the glass, no. Rebound vacuumed up by Edwards. Here comes Minnesota. Edwards into the front court with less than a minute to go. In the quarter, steps left, gets to the elbow, flips it left corner, free to fire for three. Conley knocks it down. Big three-point hit for Conley, the veteran. Makes it a 10-point game. Denver a chance to go 2 for 1 here as Jokic lumbers along the arc to his right. Handoff Hardaway. In a crowd, loses the ball. It's stolen by Anderson. Ahead for Conley. Flung to the right wing. Dosunmu is wide open for 3. Misses. Off the rim. It's out of bounds, untouched. Back to Denver with 25 seconds left. Well, that was a real chance for Minnesota to start building some momentum their way. Dosunmu, he was wide open, but Not sure if he needed to take the shot at that point. So here come the Nuggets now. Shot clock and game clock are just about bang on here as Murray's across the timing line with 15 seconds left here in the third quarter. Murray from the left of the midcourt logo. Hunkered stance dribble. He's got Jokic to his right. Now they begin to move. Jokic high screen. Murray to the elbow. Bounce pass Jokic. A floater is good! Jokic hits it with 3.5 to go in the quarter. Inbound to Edwards at midcourt. He lets it go and he misses everything. That's the end of the third quarter with Denver up a dozen. 91-79. The Denver defense turning this thing around here. They trailed by 10 at the end of the first. They lead by 12 at the end of the third, and on we go to the money quarter in the Mile High City. And the Nuggets up on the Timberwolves 91-79. We'll be back. Money quarter coming up. Ready for the money quarter to get underway in Denver. A 91-79 lead for the Nuggets on the Timberwolves. Game one of this first round Western Conference Series. And the fourth quarter gets underway with Minnesota bringing the ball up the floor from our left to our right. Dark gray uniforms, lime green outline numbers. Right elbow, Randall gets a feed from Edwards, and then Randall whips it to the left corner. Edwards is free to fire. He'll aim for three and miss. Rebound into the corner taken by Jonas Valanciunas. And the rebound of the Nuggets, and we've got a foul picked up here by, I believe, Valanciunas. Just 23 seconds into the quarter. Denver had possession secured, but Minnesota will have it off of the Valanciunas foul. Inbound far side front court. Edwards into Randall, turns to the left elbow, faces, drives, gets to the rim and lays it in. So Randall with a quick two, brings it back down to a 10-point margin. Jamal Murray will dribble it forward for Denver. What a game he's had. Feeds it left for Brown on the wing. Handoff Johnson. Comes back to the middle of the floor. Strong drive to the rim. Layup misses, and the rebound was over Valanciunas' outstretched arm, but we've got a whistle and a foul going against the Nuggets. And it looks like on Valanciunas again. So Johnson misses the driver, and then Valanciunas called for a push on Gobert. So the third foul on Valanciunas, and here's Minnesota with the ball again. Trying to get the gap down to single figures. Randall at the top of the key. He'll muscle his way in on Murray, then drop it down underneath, and there's Gobert flying in for a two-handed flush. Randall the assist, led this Minnesota team in assists this year at 5 a game. Denver into the front court, offensive end of the floor to our left, Murray. High screen Valanciunas. Murray turns the corner at the foul line, stops, fades back with a 15-footer, and he swishes it down. We talked earlier about how well Jamal Murray has played in the playoffs in his career, and he's doing it again to start this series against the Timberwolves as Dosunmu lines up a right wing three. Misses short. He has not had it from three in this one. Brown with the defensive rebound for Denver, and it's forwarded for Murray. Murray steps right, middle of the floor, pulls up, kicks it into the right corner. Johnson tries the three, too strong. Valanciunas tried to steer the rebound away from Gobert, and it's last off a Timberwolf. It'll stay with Denver. Fresh shot clock and all as it recycles to 14. Inbound will come underneath from Murray. Gets it in near left corner. Johnson catches, elevates for three. Missed everything there. DiVincenzo catches the rebound on the other side of the rim. Gives it to Randall. Randall, physical drive, gets inside, goes to the rim. Layup blocked by Valanciunas. Out of the pile, Brown. Numbers for Denver. Murray in from the left. A lob is parried away by a flying body of DiVincenzo. Now the ball rolls all the way back to the other side of the floor. DiVincenzo dives to try to save it from going out of bounds, but can't. It's out and back to the Nuggets. Wow, Donte DiVincenzo doing everything right there. Getting up and knifing the Murray lob away. And then throwing himself onto the floor at the other end. Here's Denver. Back on offense. Brown cuts left. He's open on the wing. Tries a three. Misses off the heel. DiVincenzo's there for the rebound. Minnesota down by 10. 2.5 minutes having gone by in the fourth. DiVincenzo off to Edwards. Back for DiVincenzo. Far left corner. Up for three. A rainbow. Barely grazed the front of the rim. Rebound down to Brown. Brown brings it back up across the timing line into the front court to our left. Shovels it for Murray. Centered for Valanciunas. Right foot inside of the arc. Left foot outside of it. Pitchforked back along for Murray. Steps inside the arc. Shot clock dwindling. It's at 6. It's at 5. Murray mid-post left. Tries to back his way in. Turns. Fadeaway jumper misses. Rebound Randall. Diagonal outlet Edwards. Middle of the floor. Pushed forward. Dosunmu right corner catches up for three, and it's down. Ayo Dosunmu drains a big three to make it a 7-point game, and a timeout taken here by Denver. Nuggets take a timeout. Their lead down to 7 as Minnesota tries to stay in striking range here. Game 1. Back in a moment. So that timeout taken by the Nuggets as Minnesota tries to get closer. They're within 7. And here come the Nuggets back into the front court as it's brought forward by Gordon with under 9 minutes to go in regulation time. Gordon handoff, middle of the floor. Murray drives straight up the middle. Layup left-handed, glass and rim miss. Rebound Minnesota. Edwards flashes forward here. Edwards off right wing, steps to his left, feeds Gobert, back for Edwards, left wing, 3 is good! Anthony Edwards drains a triple, and just like that, Minnesota is within 4. They're on a 10-2 run. Jokic back on the floor, slings it into the lane. Gordon drives up the middle, lumbers to the basket, and lays it up and in off glass. 6-point lead for the Nuggets. Just about 8 minutes to go here in regulation time. Gordon, who sat for so much of that first half after picking up 3 first-quarter fouls, has really taken off here in the second half as we've got a whistle. And a foul going against Denver away from the ball. Well, could be quite a stretch drive here as Minnesota inbounds. Edwards up top, handoff. DiVincenzo cuts back right. Back to Randall up top behind the back dribble. Leaves it underneath. Gobert goes up. Jokic tried to go up with him, but Gobert at the rim lays it in. 4-point game here. Minnesota on a run, 17-6 over the last 6 minutes. Murray spots up right wing, fakes a 3. Centered Jokic, flings it left in the corner. Brown for 3! That's good! Christian Brown cans a big one as he sticks the landing from distance. Lead back up to 6. Edwards into the offensive end of the floor, drifting out wide to his left. Brown is on him defensively. Right in his grill. Edwards gives it up. Gobert back for Edwards. Steps left. They blitz him with a double. Flip to the corner. DiVincenzo off balance. 3 around the rim. No. Gobert with an offensive rebound and a two-handed flush. Sacre bleu. Minnesota back to within 4. Gobert with 17 points on 8 of 9 shooting. He led the NBA in field goal percentage this year for the 4th time in his career, and he's 8 out of 9 from the field here. Jokic outside right. He'll take a 3 over Gobert. Misses too strong. Rebound DiVincenzo. Minnesota a chance to get even closer here and make it a one-possession game. DiVincenzo quarterbacks it to Edwards. Bounce pass in. Randall left of the lane. Sharp pass DiVincenzo around the horn right corner. Dosunmu. He'll drive inside, and Dosunmu lays it up and in. Off glass with the right, and we've got a 2-point game. Here's Gordon back the other way once again. 2-point game because that last 3 by Brown was reviewed, and it's a 2-point shot as here's Jokic taking on Gobert, and Jokic scores plus a foul. Wow. Jokic wildly flips it up, gets it to drop. Gobert the foul, and Jokic with a chance at a 3-point play. Again, just to reiterate, the Brown 3 was confirmed as a 2, so that's why a point was taken off the board for Denver. So the score on your screen is correct at 99-95, and now Jokic makes it 100-95 as he hits the and-one free throw. 1 assist shy of a triple-double. Again, he led the NBA in triple-doubles this year with 34. The next closest was Atlanta's Jalen Johnson with 13. Here's Minnesota on offense. Gobert fumbles it in the lane. Picked up by Brown. In transition, Jokic flings it left. Murray's free to fire. Big 3 around the iron. No. Jokic tap follow is good off glass. Timeout, Minnesota. Jokic has 23, and he's built the lead to 7. With a 3-point play and then a tap follow on the very next trip. Timeout. Back in a moment. Back here for the stretch drive, game one between Minnesota and Denver. JT has joined us, which has come out of almost nowhere. But hello, JT. You've been enjoying this one behind the scenes, haven't you?
I have, and something else that has been enjoyed today is the monitors by the officials.
Yes. As you can see, Denver by 7, just north of 5 to go, and Minnesota inbounds, and up the floor come the Timberwolves. They've made a run here to get within striking distance, but Nikola Jokic has scored 5 straight points for the Nuggets. Edwards into the front court, out to his left, inside the arc, fade back jumper against Brown, left short, rebound Denver with Brown. Gordon ends up on the deck, slow to get up, but now he does. Jokic into the front court, outside right, bounce pass threaded inside. Brown met underneath by McDaniels defensively, has to backpedal out to the corner, gives for Jokic there, up for 3, clatters off. Brown tap follow, no, got it back again, still couldn't get it to drop, but we get a foul. As Brown doing all that he could on the offensive glass and just couldn't squeeze it home. So it'll be Brown to shoot at the line here for Denver to try to extend this lead.
Matthew.
Yes, it's amazing. Brown's first free throw is good. Lead balloons to 8 as the Nuggets try to finish it out here at home in game 1. Brown's second free throw is good. Lead is up to 9 now. And Minnesota, who pushed hard and used a lot of energy to bridge the gap and get back in this game. Do they have much energy left? Here's Randall on the left elbow. Tries to chisel his way in against Brown. Steps back. Fadeaway jumper in the lane is good for Julius Randle. 104-97 with under 5 minutes to go here. Jokic lets the clock run before picking up the inbound. Now Gobert comes up to pressure him to force him to pick it up. Gordon across the timing line. Feeds it left on the wing for Murray. McDaniels defending. Murray swings it up top. Jokic towing the arc. Hands off for Murray with some misdirection. Back to Jokic up top. Gobert on the perimeter defending. Hand off Murray again with 5 to shoot. Murray steps back on the elbow. Needs to put up a shot. He does. He forced it up around the rim. No. Rebound Edwards. Chance for Minnesota to get closer. Edwards into the front court, left-handed dribble. Picked up defensively by Bruce Brown. Gobert's return for Edwards was fumbled. Jokic a steal. Lofted ahead in transition. Bruce Brown goes to the rim and explodes a two-handed dunk. Timeout, Minnesota. A Gobert turnover to be regretted. And the Nuggets lead by 9. What a crucial sequence that was. My goodness. So, JT, behind the scenes, has been watching the whole time, as we mentioned, and we know that you are a fan of Victor Wembanyama.
Am I?
The alien, of course.
Who?
But Nikola Jokic in Denver, he's just a very much thicker and slightly shorter Victor Wembanyama at 6'11", 285. But boy, can he get the job done on the inside, and he has been fantastic to watch after what was a pretty quiet first half for his standards. Here he is, grinding away. He's got 23 points, 11 rebounds, and now has secured a triple-double with a 10th assist.
I could say something really controversial here, but I'm not.
Ooh. A controversial take from JT. We wouldn't mind it.
As all of my screens go black because NASCAR have reset their timing system. Incredible.
That last assist by Jokic to Brown on the dunk gives him a triple-double. He had 54 in the regular season, most of anyone. This is his 22nd career playoff triple-double. Edwards the other way, leans into traffic and draws a foul right out of the timeout, and Edwards will get free throws.
I will say the thing,
Okay.
but I won't say the controversial side of it.
Okay.
He's 6'11". That's not 7 foot, is it?
It is not.
It is. It's just you just need the height to be an. You need the height to be an alien.
Edwards at the line here. Both teams, as you can see, with 2 timeouts left down the stretch, and neither team in the bonus so far. Denver was in the bonus. They basically lived in the bonus in that third quarter. Part of why emotions ran high in that third quarter. Minnesota just had the fouls racking up against them. First free throw is good from Edwards.
I've just realised I don't have any chicken nuggets to have after the game. It is 11 o'clock, and I should probably actually look at when I'm on air for NASCAR. 'Cause, yeah.
It is getting closer. Edwards hits the second free throw. 7-point lead for Denver. Nuggets into the front court with Murray. Jokic will supply a quick screen to separate him from McDaniels, and we get a foul on McDaniels. Trying to fight through that screen. He's called for the foul. Seven-point game here with under 4 minutes to go. Game 2 of this series here in Denver Monday night. Inbound to Jokic, outside left, turns, hands off, Murray curls to the right elbow, running floater, a high arcer off the glass, no good. Missed that badly, and the rebound secured by Gobert, and here comes Minnesota. Into the front court, Anthony Edwards, Gobert high screen, Edwards cuts out to his left. Third leading scorer in the NBA this season. Sizes up the defense of Bruce Brown. Edwards steps back, can't get free. Feeds the left corner. Dosunmu a drive, finger roll layup. No. Rebound tapped into the hands of Jokic by Brown. Ahead for Gordon. Feeds right corner. Bruce Brown all on his own. Up for 3. It's around and out. Rebound stabbed away by Edwards. Outletted near side of the floor, McDaniels. McDaniels marches forward, dumps it underneath. Gobert swatted away by Gordon. Recovered by Randall, who lays it in. Makes it a 5-point game as Randall out of that scramble gets a big bucket. Under 3 to go. 106-101. Denver, top scoring offense in the NBA all season long. Leads by 5, and they're on the offensive end here. Murray gets a high screen from Jokic. Cuts right, top of the key. Feeds it right. Gordon, big 3 up. Around and out. It was halfway down on him. Gobert the rebound. Outletted Edwards. Pushed forward. McDaniels in full flight. Goes in strong. Draws contact with Brown. And it's a defensive foul on Denver's Christian Brown. And now Minnesota will get free throws as that puts them in the bonus. And it will be McDaniels who will stride to the line. 84 pardon. That's the foul that puts Denver over the limit, so no free throws off that foul. Inbound near side front court to Edwards. Edwards left-handed dribble outside right. He'll take a 3 over Murray. Comes up short, rebound. Sucked in by Jokic in Denver. Keeps their 5-point lead, and up the floor they come. Jokic lackadaisically dribbles forward with Gobert defending. He'll take him on. Jokic a drive in from the right, gives it up. Bruce Brown comes back out to the perimeter, top of the key. Bounce for Jokic. He's got the switch. McDaniels on him, knocked it away. It's loose. Randall trying to chase it down to the backcourt. He can't. Murray has to heave from midcourt. Off the glass, no good. And somehow the offensive rebound came to Bruce Brown. Minnesota wondering how it's not a shot clock violation. Into Gordon! And a two-handed slam! What a sequence! Chris Finch and Minnesota can't believe that it wasn't called a shot clock violation on a midcourt heave that never hit the rim. Edwards at the other end, driving layup, no. Gobert, tap, follow, goes down. Will it count? No, I think they're waving it off. It was still over the cylinder. Did that? Oh, it did just graze the rim. That midcourt shot from Murray. Oh, my goodness. Did not look like it hit the rim, but it just grazed the front of it after it caromed off the glass. That's why the shot clock reset. And then Murray got it to Gordon, who was all by himself. Minnesota stopped playing defense because they thought it was a shot clock violation. So Gordon was left alone to get an easy one, and then at the other end, does Gobert touch that ball while it's still over the cylinder or not? Initially, they waved it off. They're reviewing it now, and that looks pretty clearly to still be over the rim. That is not going to count for Rudy Gobert, and it's going to stay a 7-point lead for Denver. What a wild sequence of events right there. Clock stopped with 1:39 on it.
There's only one way to explain the sequence of what just happened.
And what's that?
What in the wide world of sports have we just seen?
That was crazy, crazy sequence of events. Sir, official just gave the verdict.
Confirmed as basketball interference,
Yep.
I believe, is
Very
what he
good.
said.
And that
Awesome.
was expected because it was clearly still over the rim. So Minnesota here now with a real uphill climb, 99 seconds to make up 7 points, and Denver will have the ball after the goaltending call, basket interference call rather, on Gobert. Denver will inbound near side backcourt. It'll be Murray who will throw it in. Randall and Gordon jousting away, and Randall ends up on the floor. Foul is called here, and let's see who it's on. Looks like it's on Randall. Boy, Randall was not letting Gordon get away so they could inbound it to him. And those two were sumo wrestling on the floor, and Randall ended up on the deck. Foul is on Randall. That puts
This
both teams in the
is
bonus.
basketball, guys.
So that puts both teams in the bonus here with under 100 seconds left. Still 2 timeouts left both ways. And Murray at the line here. This is a technical free throw being shot by Murray, and he hits the first. Or he hits the technical free throw. Those were not free throws for a foul. Wow. So now then, they'll try this again. And Murray this time gets it in near side backcourt to Gordon. And Gordon trying to dribble his way into the front court. And Randall all over him. And Gordon does muscle his way in. And still Randall's all over him. And he ends up getting called for a reach-in foul. Not a good sequence of events for Julius Randall, I'm afraid. And Gordon will shoot at the line. By the way, the other live events that we've been bringing you during this game, Carolina has beaten Ottawa 2-0 in the opening game of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and I'm trying to see, looks like Real Sociedad in a penalty shootout has won the Copa del Rey final over Atletico Madrid as Gordon hits the first free throw, and Denver's lead is up to 9. Yep, Real Sociedad on penalties, upsetting Atletico Madrid after Julian Alvarez had an explosive equalizer late in regulation. Gordon's second free throw misses off the back of the rim. Door slightly ajar here for Minnesota. They trail by 9. Clock ticking down. Edwards had to get rid of it. He did for Gobert, driving down the middle to the basket, and he draws a foul. And Gobert will go to the line. That's not the worst thing in the world for Denver. Down the stretch here to get Rudy Gobert at the free throw line. Only a 53% shooter from the line. Is the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year, and he misses here off back rim. And you look at Chris Finch, and it's really hard to say to Chris Finch, take Gobert off the floor in this situation because of what he demands defensively and what he can do on offense in open floor play. But on the free throw line, it's a big struggle. And he misses the second one short. Rebound tapped into the air. Nearly gathered in by McDaniels. He gets it out of the right corner. Shoots a 3. Heaved it up. An air ball. Jokic tears away the rebound. Lumbers forward and bounces into the front court for Johnson. And now they can run some clock here, Denver, as we approach the final minute of regulation time. Nuggets up 9. and a possible put-away possession. Entry feed, right corner, Jokic back up top. Johnson dribbles right elbow, running floater, good! Cameron Johnson pushes the lead to 11. Timeout taken. Jokic with yet another assist. And Cam Johnson with that shot should put Denver across the finish line. You just cannot predict what Jokic is going to do with the ball in his hands. Is he going to take it to the basket, step back for a jumper, or is he going to feed it and make this crazy pass? Nothing crazy about it there, just left it to Cam Johnson to get it done. And Johnson in his 39th career playoff game with a big basket there, and Denver's up 11 in the final minute. Put some extra time on the clock. It's at 53 seconds here. Again, Game 2 of this series here in Denver, Monday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Game 3 will be up in Minnesota at 9:30 Eastern on Thursday night. Game 4, also at the Target Center in Minneapolis, will be Saturday night, 8:30. Hawks and Knicks start about 5 minutes from now as Atlanta and New York gets their first-round series started at the Garden. Hawks, one of the hottest teams in the NBA to end the regular season, and the Knicks, the number 3 seed in the East, with all the heavy expectations that's been on them all season long. 53 seconds left here. Denver leads by 11. Champions 3 years ago, the Nuggets. Edwards gets it in. He threw it in off the back of Jokic so he could catch it. Then out of the left corner, he rises for 3, well short. Gordon the rebound, and Jokic with a leak out will lackadaisically go to the rim at the other end and lay it in. Jokic with another basket. 25-point triple-double for Jokic. Edwards off the inbound. Up the other way he goes. Glides to the rim and scores. Denver the quick inbound and a foul. Is it a foul or is it a timeout with 37 seconds left? Timeout taken by Denver. Nikola Jokic, everything he does seems so subtle and effortless. Just like that breakaway lay-in. So timeout taken. We're down to 37 seconds to go. Again, the rest of the NBA playoff schedule for today. Day 1 of the playoffs. You've got the Hawks and the Knicks in New York. That tip-off is 3 minutes away. At 8:30 tonight, the Rockets and the Lakers in Los Angeles. Tomorrow, another quadruple header of Game 1s. Philadelphia at Boston at 1 o'clock. Then at 3:30, Phoenix and Oklahoma City. 6:30, Orlando, Detroit. And at 9 o'clock here on the channel, we'll have Portland and San Antonio. Spurs and Trailblazers both haven't been in the playoffs in a long while. It'll be Victor Wembanyama's playoff debut. The Trailblazers getting through the play-in with 38-point performance in Phoenix from Denny Avdia to get Portland the 7 seed. As mentioned, we'll have Portland and San Antonio on the channel tomorrow night. Our next NBA playoff game on the channel. Denver inbounding here. Near side front court. Murray got doubled. He flung it across the floor. Hardaway, an airborne catch. Fouled by DiVincenzo with 33 seconds and change left. Later tonight on the channel, we'll have Game 1 between the Philadelphia Flyers and the Pittsburgh Penguins as Stanley Cup playoff action continues. Carolina went over Ottawa earlier today, 2-0. Minnesota and Dallas has just started their Game 1 on the ice in Dallas. First free throw good from Hardaway. Denver salting this one away. And we'll have the early edge in this series that could be a long one. These two went 7 games in the second round 2 years ago. Hardaway knocks down the second. Denver by 13. Speed dribble into the front court. Randall. Jokic lets him go to the rim. Unencumbered. Randall dunks it down. Jokic will inbound. He does. Into a double team. Bruce Brown throws it to Christian Brown, then back to Jokic, sweeping ball Gordon, bounce pass in the lane. Hardaway had an easy dunk, but he doesn't take it. Instead, he backpedals to the perimeter and will work clock. Shot clock at 6, now 5, and they'll likely just take a shot clock violation here as Nuggets fans rise to their feet. They take a shot clock violation with 5 seconds left. McDaniels will inbound at midcourt on the near side. He gets it in for Ayo Dosunmu, who will dribble out the rest of the clock, and Denver, who was down double digits at the end of the first quarter, ends up winning it by double digits. An 11-point victory on their home floor over the Minnesota Timberwolves, as Denver takes game 1 in this highly anticipated first-round Western Conference Series. Game 2 here in Denver Monday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Timberwolves will try to draw even in this best of 7, while Denver will try to go after a 2-0 series lead. And again, just another reminder, later tonight here on the channel, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Game 1, Flyers, Penguins in Pittsburgh. Then tomorrow, the NASCAR Cup Series runs at Kansas. That's 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And then at 9 o'clock tomorrow night, Portland and San Antonio begins their first-round series, the Trailblazers and the Spurs. For everyone here, Matthew Owens signing off. It is a Denver victory and a 1-0 Nuggets lead in the series as they knock off the Timberwolves. We'll see you later tonight for the Keystone Clash on the ice.